Guys, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra is packed with some ultra features and sick new tips and tricks, so strap in and let's go. So straight out the box, the first thing you've got to try is super simple, and that's just to double pinch. So let's say someone gives you a call. If you just double pinch, the Watch Ultra will answer the call, and then you can just chat over your watch like you would with your phone. This actually works with a bunch of different apps, like the stopwatch, for example. Just double pinch to stop or start it, or to even turn off an alarm. It is on by default, but if it's not working, you can just go into settings, then buttons and gestures, and scroll all the way down until you see double pinch and just toggle this on. But you'll also notice this other gesture right under it called knock knock. And in here, you'll see the select an option feature, where here you can basically go and pick from any app on the Watch Ultra, like the camera controller. Then check this out, if you just do the knock knock gesture, it'll activate your camera controller and turn on your phone's camera, which you can then see through your watch. Then you can just do a double pinch to take a photo. I mean, that's pretty cool. And before we move on, back inside button and gestures, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, make sure you also turn on shake to dismiss. Because with this, if you're on a call and you shake your wrist, it'll end the call, or if an alarm goes off and you twist your wrist, it'll turn off the alarm. Pretty nifty. Okay, now the biggest new feature on the Watch Ultra is this quick button. If you press it, it'll open up Samsung Exercise, where you can quickly pick an exercise to start. But if you go back into settings, then buttons and gestures, you'll see that the quick button actually has its own dedicated section. So next to Samsung Health, if you tap the settings icon, here you can select exactly what exercise to start when you press the quick button, like running coach, for example, which is specifically made to actually teach you how to run better, literally like having a coach on your wrist. But back inside the quick button settings, you'll notice that you can instead set it to open up the timer or even the flashlight. And from these two, personally, the flashlight is super useful because the Ultra has a really bright screen now. So instead of using your phone, you can basically use the Ultra like a flashlight. What's also really nice is you can adjust the flashlight's brightness just by using the digital touch bezel. Then back inside button and gesture settings, if you tap on the start action with, make sure to change this to double press. This way, the Ultra will only open up the quick button shortcut when you double press it in case you ever accidentally touch it. But another little tip is if you press and hold down on the quick button for 5 seconds, it'll activate the Ultra's new Siren. This is such a cool feature to have on the Watch Ultra, and just be careful because it is really loud. Which of course is a good thing, because if you ever get lost, then this siren can definitely help other people find you easier, that's for sure. But what I really like about this watch is this next trick that'll affect all your contacts. So first off, if you go onto your phone, then contacts, and select any one of your contacts, it can be a friend or family, and inside that contact, you'll see that you can now create a profile card for them. And in this profile card, you'll be able to go into the gallery, then select a photo of them or any picture. And next, if you tap on their name, you can change the font, the thickness, and even the color to better suit the whole aesthetic. And once you're done, now whenever that person gives you a call, their profile card that you just set up will show up on your watch. That way, you can quickly see who's calling without actually having to read anything.
Hello.
You can also go into your contacts on the Watch Ultra and directly call that person in here. And again, their profile card will show up, which is just such a cool little feature. But besides calling, if you get a message on the Watch Ultra, if you swipe down, you'll actually see that it now gives you suggested replies that you can use instead of typing, which, as you know, is so much harder on a watch. So now you just tap the reply you want and click send. It's literally that easy. And these replies are actually based off of the conversation you're busy having with that person. So you'll notice that the suggested replies will change based on what you're chatting about and also how you would actually reply. Just another sick feature that makes this smartwatch ultra smart. Now, before we get into customizing this beast, I gotta show you 2 new tips to get around it. So if you now open up a few apps at the same time, like let's say the timer, for example, you open up Spotify and maybe even the camera app, on the watch face, you'll notice these new little app icons that appear over here. And if you tap it, opens up the new quick app switcher, where you can then quickly jump in and out or between all the different apps you've got running. So now, whenever you see a little icon over here, just know that app is active. Then for the second tip, back on the watch faces, if you swipe through the widgets, before you could only swipe through one widget at a time, just like this. But now, if you do a quick swipe, you can quickly jump between a few of the widgets, which again is just so much easier. So now that you know how to get around this watch, let me show you how to really make it feel like your own. Now, the Watch Ultra comes with two unique watch faces that are specifically made just for it. So it's called the Ultra Analog and Simple Ultra. But what is really cool about these watch faces is if you tap and hold down onto any of them, then tap on Customize, you can swipe to this new night mode section where you can choose to have the night mode off, on, or on automatic. And if you choose automatic, whenever you go into a dark room or if the sun sets, your Ultra's watch face will automatically change to this new dark mode, which is made to keep your eyes less strained because, as you guys know, this screen is brighter than my future. But to make these watch faces even more ultra, then I'd suggest you go back into the customization settings, then into complications, because there are two that I just think you've got to add. The first one, if you scroll up, has got to be your battery percentage, so you can just keep an eye on things and make sure you've always got some juice. Then secondly is this one called the energy score. And if you're wondering what energy score is, it's basically like your body's battery, but I'll definitely show you that later. Because there's one more customization trick you got to know about, and it's found within the sound and vibration settings, then under system sounds, and right over here it's called ticking. If you toggle this on, it basically turns your Watch Ultra into a traditional analog watch with this classic ticking sound. Nice. Okay, so most of the time the Watch Ultra is going to be strapped to your wrist, but what happens if you lose it by mistake? Then no need to stress, because it's actually really easy to find by using the new Find app on your phone. It should be installed by default, but if not, then you can just download it from the Samsung store. So if you go into the Find app, under Devices, you'll find the Watch Ultra, and if you tap on it, you'll see this option to then ring the watch. And because this watch has a massive speaker, it'll ring really loud, so it's so much easier to find. But what if you lose your phone? Then from your watch face, if you swipe down into quick settings and swipe to the left, you'll see this phone icon, and if you tap on it, your phone will start ringing instantly. You can also go into the settings, then advanced features, and in here under disconnection alerts, toggle on full screen alert with sound and vibration. That way, with this on, whenever you leave your phone behind somewhere, your watch will vibrate, make a sound, and send a message letting you know that you've left your phone behind and you should go back and get it. That's all really handy, but what if you get lost? Okay, now here's some really ultra features, like this first one, where if you start a walk or hike exercise, let's say through a forest or anywhere really, but you lose track of where you are and get lost, then don't panic, because all you gotta do is swipe right on the exercise, tap on settings, then track back. And just like that, the Watch Ultra's track back will open up and direct you back to exactly the same spot as where you started. Literally a lifesaver. Then this next feature is also inside your Samsung exercises, and it's this brand new Multisport mode, which when you open up, you can choose from a couple different options, but you can actually customize your own exercise routine. So if you tap on add and add exercise, you can pick exactly which sports modes you would like to combine, depending on what it is you're training for, then just click on save. And when you do this, it'll start the first exercise, but then automatically detect and change over to the next exercise. I mean, that's really cool. Also, remember how I mentioned this watch has these massive speakers? Well, a really cool trick is if you're in Spotify and tap this little phone icon, then select your phone and change it to this watch and tap on watch speaker, your music will now play out loud directly from your watch speaker. Which is not only so cool, but also super convenient, especially if your buds die or you just straight up forget them. Okay, now this is something really cool because the Watch Ultra can actually measure your body's battery. To do this, you just have to tap on the energy score complication that we set up earlier. Then right over here, you'll see all your energy score factors. And this is where you'll find everything that affects your body's battery, like sleep time, sleep consistency, and even sleep heart rate. So if you're ever feeling tired and don't really know why, then you can just go in here and try and see what's triggering it. I mean, come on, that's really ultra. But besides measuring your body battery, you can also measure your entire composition. And to do that, you just need to move your watch up your wrist slightly higher than usual, then swipe to the body composition widget, tap on measure, confirm how much you weigh, and then you just need to put your middle finger and ring finger on the top and bottom buttons, literally just like you see here. And in a couple of seconds, it'll measure your body, then give you all your different results like your muscle, fat mass, as well as body water, which of course is not 100% accurate, but still gives you a pretty good idea. So that's all really convenient for your health, but let me show you something even more convenient. Alright, so here's something that's really important to know about your Watch Ultra, and that is how to get Google Assistant on here. So basically, all you have to do is go into the Play Store, then scroll down to Manage Apps, and in here you'll see the Assistant, tap on it just to make sure that it's all updated. Once that is done, just go into the settings, then into button and gestures again, and under the press and hold action, change that from Bixby to Google Assistant. It is literally that simple, so now you can just press and hold the top right-hand button and ask it anything like, start a 10-second timer.
10 seconds.
So with all these tips and tricks, you should now be able to use this watch to its absolute ultra. And if you're wondering just how much more ultra this watch is compared to the Apple Watch Ultra, then make sure you sub, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!